What is up, Raffalitos? Welcome back to my channel. We are back in Houston to look at this new access road that is being built. So this is Heroes Highway. That's looking north, looking towards Georgetown. And this is the new civil engineering works being done here. That's Heroes Highway looking south towards Demerara Airport and points south. Now we've been looking at this development for the longest while. We've come back to see what progress they've made on it, because it seemed as if this was some major drainage works, as if they were building a huge canal system connecting to this culvert. But it's also being constructed right at the point where Heroes Highway meets this new access road.
Distance 4 miles. Duration 1 hour 28 minutes 59 seconds. Pace 20 minutes 33 seconds per mile.
So right, this new access road to the bridge, to the Demerara bridge, the new Demerara bridge, you can see way in the distance, those are the pillars at the riverbank that will suspend the high section, the high span of the bridge, and connecting the ramp to the bridge will be this access road that reaches all the way. It's 2 miles away from Peters Hall, from the bridge at Peters Hall. So I've come back here to see what progress they've made on this access road. And from what I can see, is they're still working on the drainage system. So there's this huge culvert that's being constructed. Right, there's a huge culvert system that's being constructed and connecting it to some very deep drains, what looks like storm drains. They're very narrow to be storm drains, but nevertheless very deep drains that are running along. See, these are the rebar that's going to be built into the retaining walls. So the retaining walls for this very deep system of waterways, right? Drains are being connected to this culvert. They've already made the connection here. You can see the culvert has already been connected. And on the other side, you can see they're also building these very deep drains with retaining walls. See, there are retaining walls on both sides of that very deep drain. But in between these sets of retaining walls is supposed to be this access road that goes all the way to the bridge. And they seem to be making progress, although very slow at this point. The issue, of course, is how does this access road connect to Heroes Highway? And because of this wide semicircle that's being constructed, I initially speculated that it is going to be another traffic circle, because it seems as if the only highway infrastructure that we can build at intersections now is traffic circles. However, because of the volume of traffic that the bridge will attract, a traffic circle will not be the best solution. What is needed here is a proper interchange. And what we're looking for today is evidence that they are going to build a proper interchange. So here it is. That is the deep drains that are being built on either side of the access road. So there are these deep drains on the construction on either side of the access road that are going to connect to this drainage system that they're building along the side of Heroes Highway. But the question is, how does traffic get from Heroes Highway onto the bridge? This traffic coming towards me is going north, it's traveling north. Now it's easy to see that you can build an exit ramp to an entrance ramp onto the access road. That's very easy. But for the traffic on the other side, right, the traffic coming towards me now, I'm looking north, traffic traveling south would have to cross the highway, cross the northbound lanes to get onto the bridge. And the question is, how do you achieve that? The simplest solution that the government has been using for this kind of problem is to build traffic circles. The problem with traffic circles is that they create bottlenecks. A traffic circle doesn't solve the problem of having to deal with a large volume of traffic. And what has been happening at other traffic circles around the country, especially in the Georgetown area, is that you've created huge traffic jams. And so the question is the government going to continue to build traffic circles, given the fact that they are the least efficient form of merging traffic at these intersections? This is the east side of the highway, Heroes Highway, and as you can see now that this culvert and drainage system, huge deep drainage system, is being connected. It seems as if a huge amount of water will be diverted at this junction, which can only mean that they are preparing for major foundation works that will require it to be dry. Like I said, the government seems to be building a traffic circle, another traffic circle here. They were of course going to have to tear down the median to do that, but we're still waiting to see what the solution they come up with is. The problem, of course, is that a traffic circle creates traffic jams. So the obvious solution, better solution, a more expensive solution, but a stable solution, would be to build a proper interchange, right? To build an interchange that allows traffic to go onto a ramp and then build a bridge across this highway for traffic traveling south, cross over the northbound lanes to get onto the highway, to get onto the access road. But we don't yet see evidence that they're going to do that. What we see is still a lot of work being done on this culvert system, the drainage system. And I assume that drainage system is needed to keep the foundation dry. So eventually when you do build a large structure at this junction, you can channel the water away from the foundation so that it doesn't get destabilized over time. But this is where the construction is here at Providence. All right, this is looking west towards the bridge, and you can clearly see them opening up a space to build that access road. And then in the distance, you can see the pillars of the bridge, a high span section of the bridge. Let's see, you can also see, if you look carefully, you can see the ramp getting closer to the bridge. Hasn't reached the bridge yet. Ramp is getting closer to the bridge. We're getting into rush hour traffic. That intersection is Red Road and Heroes Highway. We've talked a lot about that intersection in the past, but it's going to eventually be affected by whatever is being constructed here. In other words, this major entrance ramp to the bridge is going to affect traffic in both directions on Heroes Highway for miles in either direction at rush hour. So this is actually the most important interchange or connection intersection that's being constructed in Guyana at this point. And we can't wait to see what eventually the solution is, because it is going to affect traffic in this community, in this neighborhood, all the way to Georgetown. But this is where they're at. It's clear that you can see the bridge now, right? We can see the bridge from this distance. You can see the bridge clearly taking shape. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it with the naked eye. I can see the ramp, the bridge ramp, getting closer and closer. All right, let me see if I can point that out. In the center of the screen right now, in the center of the screen as I zoom, right at the center of the screen, that is the ramp for the bridge. It has reached up. It has reached up to the point where you can see the surface, the road surface, and it's going to turn right. It's going to make a slight curve to the right to get onto the bridge, and you can see that already. Right, you can already see that from this distance, 2 miles away. But that picture is going to emerge and become clearer as time goes by. I assume that by the end of the year we'll be able to see the connection of this bridge, the ramp to the bridge. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people see what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later! That's the access ramp to the bridge. Right in the center of the screen. That is what it looks like from this distance. In a couple of months, maybe by the end of the year, we'll be able to see what that looks like. From this distance, 2 miles away. Let me know in the comments below what you think they're building.